A very good morning, children. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing fine. Children, today we shall take up a new chapter, 3.4, How the First Letter Was Written. And this lesson is written by Rudyard Kipling. This is video 1. And just a little information about this chapter. It's about the Neolithic age. Okay, when you're talking about the Neolithic age, it's the later Stone Age. So if you see in this picture here, you can see the kind of dress they're wearing. Okay, we're talking about the later Stone Age. It's a little humorous or little funny story, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Before that, we will do a little about the author, Rudyard Kipling. He was born in Bombay, that is Mumbai, what we call today, India in 1865, okay? But he did migrate, okay? He migrated later on. And his most famous works are The Jungle Book and Kim, among many other poems and short stories. He also was the first English language author to receive the Nobel Prize in Literature. And Kipling said that his youth in India greatly affected his writing, as did his early adulthood in England. Okay, so this is a great author, and we need to be proud because he was born in our country, though he migrated later on. And he's written this children's story. Okay, let's start with the warming up. If you see it on page number 72, children, open your textbooks. Let's do this. It's list the materials that man had as used for the following purposes in the different ages. Now you see this is a table. You have objects, you have Neolithic age, then you have first century, and you have modern age. So your weapons is what they used, okay, to fight. Fuel, okay, what they use for cooking. Utensils, okay, vessels, food, and clothes. So weapons during the Neolithic age, they had, this is already given to you, it's stone, bones, animal teeth. In the first century, what did they use? They used stone and spear. Modern age, now what we use? Atom bombs, gun, nuclear weapons. That's the latest, right? Fuel, they had Neolithic age, wood, grass. First century, wood and grass, the same thing. Modern age, they have gas, diesel, kerosene. Then utensils, wood, okay, made of wood. First century, they had wooden pots, earthen pots. Modern age, steel, glass, bronze. Now we have microwave vessels also, right? Then food, Neolithic age, fruits and leaves. First century, meat, fish, fruits. And the modern age, you have backed foods. Nowadays you get cereal, pulses, meat, fish. All this we have in the modern age. What kind of clothes in the Neolithic age? They use leaves. First century, animal skin. And modern age, they use the woven cloth, synthetic fiber. Okay. So this is what the table is about. Now, you have question 2, 3, 4, 5, which you're going to do on your own, because that is all, little a game kind of thing to play with your name. Okay, so you can do that on your own. So let's start with the chapter. That's on page number 73. How the first letter was written. Once upon a most early time was a Neolithic man, and he lived cavely in a cave, and he wore very few clothes, and he couldn't read, and he couldn't write, as he didn't want to. And except when he was hungry, he was quite happy. So here we're talking about a man, a Neolithic man who lived in the cave. You can see this in the picture. Couldn't read and write, okay, and his name was Tegumai Bopsulai. And that means what? A man who does not put his foot forward in a hurry. But we, O best beloved, will call him Tegumai. Okay, so his name is a long name, and it means man who does not put his foot forward in a hurry. Okay, that means he takes a lot of time to do anything. So we call his name, in short, we are going to call him Tegumai. And his wife's name was Teshumai Teving Ro. And that means lady who asks a very many questions. But we, O best beloved, will call her Teshumai. Okay, so we're going to call his wife Teshumai instead of calling the full name as Teshumai Teving Ro for short. And his little daughter's name was Tefimai Metalumai, and that means small person without any manners who ought to be spanked. But I'm going to call her Tefi. And she was Tegumai's, Bobsulai's best beloved, and her own mummy's best beloved. And she was not spanked half as much as was good for her. And they were all three very happy. So here we talk about a small family. We're talking about the man whose name is Tegumai. In short, we're going to do that. The wife's name is Teshumai. Okay, and what's the meaning of her name? Tesh. It means lady who asks. Maybe, she has lots of questions to ask. And the daughter's name is Tefimai, but we're going to call her in short Tefi. And what is the meaning of her name? Small person without any manners, okay, who ought to be spanked. Means she should be beaten up. But, she's the only child perhaps, and therefore the parents loved her a lot. So she was daddy's and mummy's best, okay. So you see, here this is a small family, and let's see what happens. Now attend and listen. One day, Tegumai Popsulai went down through the beaver swamp to the Vagai river to spear carp fish for dinner, and Tefi went too. Tegumai's spear was made of wood with shark's teeth at the end, and before he had caught any fish at all, he accidentally broke it clean across by jabbing it down too hard on the bottom of the river. They were miles and miles from home, and Tegumai had forgotten to bring any extra spears. So one day what happens? The father and the son, they go hunting, fish hunting, okay, for dinner. And they go down to the beavers, okay, swamp. Now what is this swamp? It's a marshy land, okay. It's a, wet land. So near the riverside. So you know how the land will be. So he went there. He takes his spear, okay, and he wants to take they went hunting for the catfish, okay. Now the catfish is one kind of a fish, okay, and he goes there hunting, and his spear, okay, was made of wood. You can see that, and one end is the shark teeth, okay. They put the shark teeth at the end so that they can just, you can look at this how he is hunting the fish here, and he had caught many fish. Before he could catch many fish, what happened to his spear? Okay, what happened? It broke because he jabbed too hard. He must have taken and he put it very deep down into the bottom of the river, and it must have broken. Now, he did not have any extra spear. Without the spear at the other end, he cannot hunt any fish. Okay, now, here's a pretty kettle of fish, said Tegumai. It will take me half the day to mend this. Now, here's a pretty kettle of fish, meaning it's a messy situation. Oh, what a mess now. What am I going to do? Okay, a trouble situation. There's your big black spear at home, said Tefi. Let me run back to the cave and ask Mummy to give it to me. So this girl gets an idea. She's saying, Daddy, there's a big black spear at home. So I'll run, and go to the cave and ask Mummy to give it to me. Does the father agree with it? He says, no, it's too far for your little fat legs, Tegumai. Besides, you might fall into the beaver swamp because we know what kind of land that is, a marshy land. It's dangerous, and be drowned. You can be drowned. You must take the best of a bad job. He sat down and took out a little leather mendy bag full of reindeer sinews and strips of leather and lumps of beeswax and resin, and began to mend the spear. So he removed, he had a bag where he kept all these things, in order to mend things, to repair. Mend is repair. So he sat down there, lump of beeswax, all these are sticky substance, resins and all that. So he used to mend his spear. So he sat down doing that. Tefi sat down too, with her toes in the water and her chin in her hand, and thought very hard. Then she said, I say, Daddy, it's an awful nuisance that you and I don't know how to write, isn't it? If we did, we could send a message for the new spear. Now here the daughter is talking, something really, really good. She's saying that, Daddy, if we could, read and write, we could just send a message and we could get the new spear. This is really awful nuisance, It's nonsense that we don't know how to read and write. She started talking to her dad. Now just then a stranger man came along the river, but he belonged to a far tribe, the Tivaras, and he did not understand one word of Tegumine's language. He stood on the bank and smiled at Tefi, because he had a little girl daughter of his own at home. Tegumai grew a hank of deer sinews from his mendie bag and began to mend his spear. Now, who comes in the scene there? A stranger man. Now, this stranger man is from another tribe and he doesn't know the language which, okay, Tefi is speaking. And he looks at the girl and he just smiles. Okay, and why? Because he remembers he has his own daughter at home. Okay, so he must have remembered his daughter when he looked at her, at Tefi. And Teguman was busy, with he drew his hank of deer sinews. Now, hank is a loosely tied bundle of sticks. So he took all that and he was busy mending his spear. Okay, come here, said Tefi. Do you know where my mummy lives? And the stranger man said, Now, Tefi is getting into a conversation with the stranger man. She calls him. She says, do you know where my mummy lives? Now, we already know the stranger man doesn't understand anything about what Tefi is saying. Silly, says Tefi. And she stamped her foot because she saw a shoal of very big kept going up the river just when her daddy couldn't use his spear. Now, Tefi, they had come for fish hunting, okay, and here she sees a shoal of very big cap, okay, fish. You're talking about the fish. A shoal means a group. You're talking about it's a collective noun, okay, a group of fish just going by the river, and her father could not hunt it. Why? Because his spear was broken. Don't bother, grown-ups, said Tegumai, so busy with the spear mending that he did not turn around. Now she was saying, oh God, silly. My father was wondering what, and he said, don't disturb me, I'm busy with my work. I aren't means I am not, said Tefi. I only want him to do what I want him to do, and he won't understand. So Steffi is saying, I'm talking to the stranger man. She's talking to the stranger man saying, she wants him to go to her mummy. Okay. Then don't bother me, said Tegumai. And he went on pulling and straining at the deer sinews, with his mouth full of loose ends. The stranger man, a genuine Tivara he was, sat down on the grass, and Tefi showed him what her daddy was doing. The stranger man thought, this is a very wonderful child. She stamps the foot at me and she makes faces. She must be the daughter of the noble chief who is so great and he won't take any notice of me. So he smiled more politely than ever. Now, the stranger man is trying to understand things. Okay, he cannot understand what Tefi is telling him, and he's saying he's thinking, oh, this man, the father of Tefi is a noble chief, and this girl is very sweet. Okay, very nice daughter. So he smiles more politely at her. Let's see next in the next class what happens. We have some glossary here. You have swam, a marshy land. A pretty kettle of fish is a messy situation. Sinews is a strong band of substance that joins a muscle to a bone. And hank is loosely tied bundle of strings. So, please do the assignments that is given to you children. I know it's winter season and maybe some of you want to sleep a little longer, but set your time to study. Okay, fix a time so that either in the night or in the morning, so you're doing your regular study, you have all the subjects to do, all right? So don't keep it for the last minute. Your holidays are over and your school has started. So hope you are studying. I'm looking into your assignments. Okay, some of you have still to start off. So I hope and pray that you start soon. Thank you for giving me a listening ear, and God bless you.